question for you. What is the best thing that happened for you in 2020? 800-447-7234. We're so curious. We started thinking about the best thing that happened to us. I mean, for instance, we're in the middle of COVID-19.
Yep.
You still got to find the good stuff that happens. And so we thought we'd just kind of focus on that a little bit.
Yeah, because if you just focus on, and believe me, we've all been through some tough stuff. If you just focus on that, it's not helping you at all.
Beats me to the ground.
Right? Just takes the wind out of it. All right, so here's the thing that's happened to me this year that I can really focus on. First of all, I got this job. February 24th, my first day at His Radio, and I had been trying to get here for years and years and years, and finally the timing worked out, and God said, it's your time now.
It's great, yeah. Remember the first day in the building.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a little nervous when you first come in. You're like
you
learning.
did well.
Well, we had a lot of fun that first day for sure, and ever since. But
downhill
also,
ever since.
No, not at all. Not at all. Then my daughter got married. Supposed to have this big 150-person wedding. It was 9, but it was fine. That was at the end of March. My son graduated. My son Luke graduated in May. And then now we're expecting a grandbaby.
Congratulations.
I know. Taylor and Augie are expecting.
They have names picked out yet?
Sort of. We don't know what it is yet. She won't find out until, I think, next month.
Okay. Are they doing a reveal thing?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So I'll go.
Okay.
Because we're looking for you as well. The best things that's happened to you in 2020 at 800-447-7234. For me, it started in September 19. I know this sounds weird, but it was after a bike ride that I did with my wife, and we're sitting at my son's soccer game, and my head just feels like it's just going to burst open.
Right.
Because I had this really huge headache. I looked at Amy and I said, I think I have the flu or something. I don't go to the doctor. So we went, and then the doctor sent me to the emergency room. My blood pressure, I kid you not, I took a picture of it. It was 200/125.
Oh, Rob.
That was, it was stroke level with my blood pressure. The doctor said, we got to get you in or you're not going to be around much longer, Mr. Dempsey. That's how serious it was. So I went to the hospital, and it turned out that my kidneys were shutting down quickly, and they had to get to work right away. So I was in the hospital for a little bit, and then I was on bed rest after that. The bed rest, I developed a DVT.
Oh, my goodness.
So there was danger again.
Sure.
I'm like, what is going on here? So with surmounting medical bills and then debt that we already had accrued, we decided, hey, we can get out of debt. We have 20 years of escrow in this house. Let's just rent something and just sell our house. And then we found out that with that escrow, not only could we get as close out of debt as we could, but we can get into another home.
Really?
And this home has just blessed us. So we're in a different neighborhood where we have tons of friends.
Yeah, you have great neighbors.
Eli, one neighbor fixed my lawnmower.
Yeah.
He fixed that was crazy. And so Eli now has a ton of friends. He didn't have that many in the neighborhood where we were because all the kids have grown up or people have moved out. And there's only one kid on the block that he could play with, and that was it. And they didn't play that much together.
Yeah.
Now we're in a different home. It's a little bigger. So now in the garage, I have a little pseudo gym where I have weights and a treadmill. And I just bought a spin bike. Have a little studio in one room that was a dream for over 30 years.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of junk that's happened this year, but look at all the good that's really, and I think it's sweeter too because of everything that we're going through.
So we started thinking about you and the thing that happened that's good for you in 2020. Here's the number. It's 800-447-7234.
His Morning Crew.
This is going to sound super crazy and unreal. But something good has probably happened to you in the middle of all this COVID stuff that's been going on in 2020. It's been a weird year. So we thought, hey, let's just celebrate that fact. Something good that's happened for you at 800-447-7234. It's Rob and Liz on His Radio.
And Leah, she's funny. She texted and said, I found Lysol wipes at Walmart over the weekend. Other than that, I got nothing.
Leah, that is good. Not a lot of people are finding that stuff anymore.
She said if I can find the spray, it'd be much better. Also, Emma, she said the best thing that's happened this year is she got to go ziplining in Colorado.
Get out in Colorado doing
Sounds like
that.
fun.
It does in those mountains like that.
I know, and the views, yeah.
I mean, we got a gorge that there's a zip line in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome to go through. I haven't done it yet. I want to so bad.
I want to. That's the one that goes like you're gone, right?
Oh, yeah.
I
You
wanna
feel
do
like
that one.
Superman going through there. So Carol's along with us. Something good that's happened for you this year, Carol, in 2020.
January, my 39-year-old daughter had a massive heart attack driving home. Because of God, there was one man that saw her go off the road. She went 25 feet down an embankment and 75 yards into the woods, and there was the man behind her was a retired officer. Saw her go in there, so he went in there to save her. And behind him was a tow truck. Well, a little bit. The tow truck came up and saw the commotion, pulled over, and he just so happened to have a chainsaw on his rig. So he went down to help and was cutting the brush and the trees away. The ambulance was 3 minutes away, got there. They had to bring her back like 3 times. I mean, God is the only one that could have done that.
You know that, Carol. What an amazing story. That's a good thing, Carol, that's happened for you. Your daughter's life was saved after that horrific car accident or because of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Woo.
And life is so much sweeter now, I'm sure.
You know it. Oh, Carol, thanks for letting us know. What about you? What's your story? The best thing that's happened to you despite 2020.
His morning crew.
We started thinking about something good, the best thing that's happened to you so far in 2020. I know it's been COVID, but you know what? Something good's happened. We'd love to hear about it at 800-447-7234.
Matt texted and said, my wife and I have been blessed with our third child in 2020. His name is Enoch, and they've also been able to take care of all the kids and take them to the beach on vacation, and they've had a lot of blessings this year.
Enoch, too.
I know.
Such a good, strong name.
Right?
I love it.
And he's such a cutie, so congratulations. Nicole said being out of work for 6 weeks actually allowed them to reevaluate their budget, and they made the choice. She got to leave her full-time job so she can now be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, Nicole.
Yeah, at least for this year. They might revisit that after all this is said and done, so that's great family time that it's a blessing. It's
It sounds like you've desired that for a while, Nicole.
Yeah.
That's neat. You're able to do what you want to do like that. So Victoria's joining us on his radio at 800-447-7234. What's something good that's happened for you or your family, Victoria?
My family celebrated my granny's 95th birthday in January, and she still lives on her own and still very healthy and doing good. And this is the first time that all of my first cousins have been together since 2003. We threw a big party for her. She's, like I said, she's doing really good. So that was really good. And then in May, my husband got his CDL learners, which he's always wanted to do. And he was able to do that this year. So there are still good things that happen amongst everything that's going on.
And you found 2 great things, Victoria.
Yeah.
Congratulations on Granny's birthday. Still living on her own like that?
And throwing a
That's
big
so
old
good.
party.
And now it sounds like your husband's driving a truck.
Yeah.
Which is so good. Thank you for sharing that on his radio today.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
We started thinking about the good things, the best thing that's happened to you this year in 2020, despite everything else that we've been walking through. We started thinking on his radio. I mean, Liz has 4 things
Right.
that she said she can say, these are great things that's happened.
And it was hard to pick the very best thing, but I started my new job here at his radio back in February. My daughter got married in March. My son graduated in May. And now we've got a grandbaby that's on the way. We'll be born in 2021, but still, such good news.
A Corona baby.
A Corona baby, that's right.
What was it? Ian said something earlier. What did you say that the new generation would be called?
Coronials.
The Coronials.
Oh, no, please, no.
We're starting it now.
It's perfect.
You better coin that phrase. You better get
The Coronials. You got the millennials,
Yeah.
now the Coronials.
Right, get a trademark on
Those
it.
born in 2020. But what about you at 800-447-7234?
All right, so Katie says in February, she completed a 9-month internship. March, she passed national and state exams, now a licensed nursing home administrator.
That's great.
And now she's working in her chosen profession.
Katie, that is so good.
I know. And then we have Brittany, and Brittany says she got to spend the summer with her kids for the very first time, and she got a new job the day before school started.
Oh, that's great, Brittany. Oh, so good. So we're hearing from Margaret at 800-447-7234. What about you, girl?
So my husband and I welcomed the birth of our first baby,
during all this COVID craziness. But it actually got even better than that because I was only supposed to have 6 weeks of maternity leave. And because of COVID, I actually got 12.
Got a lot of good time with that little baby of yours.
I did, yes.
Boy or girl?
It's a boy, little Theo.
Theo, I love the name. That's so good. What does it mean?
So I guess long story short, my husband is studying theology, and we love theology, and Theo means God. And so we were going to go with Theodore and shorten it, and then we were just like, no, Theo's good, so just Theo.
Yeah, I said you're going to call him Theo anyway.
I like that.
There you go. I love it.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I know it's crazy to say. COVID-19. I don't have to go any further.
Nope.
But some good stuff has probably happened. If so, we'd love to hear from you at 800-447-7234.
And we have heard some great things today. Vera has a really great thing. She said 3 words, I beat cancer.
Vera, we celebrate with you,
Yeah, we
young
do.
lady. That is so good.
Right. And then Amy, she texted in and she said, you know what? My hours were cut at work. And at the time, it was hard. But now she sees it as a blessing in disguise. Even though the hours were cut at work, now she can pick up her son from school every day. And then when he is at home doing virtual learning, she can be there with him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it, Amy. I love that. So Aaron's with us at 800-447-7234. Okay, what is it for you, Aaron?
My husband had gotten laid off, but just by the grace of God, everything worked out. He was able to get unemployment, which with, everything that the government's doing, there was like a bonus added on top of it. And then he was picked up by another company only 2 months later. So we really didn't skip a beat. And with the extra, with the stimulus check and the extra on unemployment, we actually were able to bank enough to actually put a down payment on a house that we're getting ready to close on this Friday.
Look at that. That is crazy.
It would have never been able to happen, at least not this soon. So just in the midst of everything going on, we're actually able to buy our first home, and it's just incredible.
We're so happy for you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of the His Radio family. We're so grateful for you.
Absolutely. I love listening to you guys. Makes my morning.
His morning crew.
I'm not sure, but maybe you, and I don't know if Liz does, dunk your Oreo cookies in coffee? It's Rob and Liz on His Radio. No, you don't?
Not milk, not coffee.
Oh, wait. You not even milk?
No,
Liz has not lived.
No, they just fall apart and it's mush.
No, that's the beauty of it. When you not the fall apart part, but you put it in the milk, and it gets really soft and it's like really good. I haven't had that in decades. What'd you say?
That is the only way to do it.
No,
Okay.
Then you've got chunks at the bottom of the cup.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but if you like dipping it in coffee,
Okay.
and some people might, Java chip flavored Oreos is on their way.
Does that sound good to anybody?
Yeah.
Seriously, like I'm wondering because does it sound good to you?
No,
No.
no,
either.
not at all. I wish I could say different, but no.
No.
They have a latte cream fudge dipped Oreo thin.
That one sounds, anytime you put latte in front of something, I'm a little more interested, but.
And I'm sorry, you're going to find out real quickly, the only type of coffee I drink is plain coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm going to butcher this. Tiramisu?
Tiramisu.
Okay.
Well, I miss you too.
Yeah. They've got that in an Oreo now.
That's an Italian dessert that I am not a fan of. It's very heavy on the coffee flavor.
Okay. How'd you say it? Tiramisu?
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu. Okay. Oh, I have heard of that. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it's just not my favorite, but
No.
people love it, so I bet those Oreos will fly off the shelf.
They could. So.
Do you like any of the other weird flavors that they have? They have,
No.
We're almost in the pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice craze.
They have that for you, huh?
Ugh, which I don't like. And then they have carrot cake
No.
and red velvet.
Don't mess up the Oreo cookie. Just keep it the way it is, please.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if you looked up at the night sky late last night or early this morning, and you still have an opportunity today to see the Perseid meteor shower.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I hope I said it right.
Yeah, well, I always get confused. Perseids, but sure, we'll go with that.
Well, thank you.
It is. There could possibly be millions of shooting stars in the sky. earlier this morning. I doubt it's you can catch them now, but you can see them tonight if you missed it.
Right.
If it's clear enough, I hope.
Because the peak was this morning, and it's tonight.
Yeah.
At some point when the moon's out.
Right.
I was taking a look at this. So if you have Google, is it not Google Earth? It's Google Sky. So if you have Google Sky, you can find that constellation. It's named after the Perseus.
Yeah, Perseus.
The Perseus constellation.
Right?
So you look for that on your Google Sky, free app, by the way.
Yeah.
I have it. I love it. So you take a look at it, and then that's where you'll be able to find those meteors where they're happening. And they say try to look for those meteors when the sun rises or the sun sets, just after it sets.
Yeah.
So just after it rises, just after it sets. So you have to Google when that's going to happen, which is tonight and tomorrow morning sometime. And then look at the night sky for at least 20 minutes. Don't fall asleep. I would. And then your eyes will adjust, and you'll start seeing after 20 minutes, when your eyes are used to the night sky, the meteors shooting all over the place.
And it's good this year. Last year, I tried to watch this, but I think it was a full moon, and it's just too bright. Your eyes just never adjust. But this year, it's less than a half moon. So, and you can't do it like in the city center. You can't be in downtown somewhere with all the street lights. Your eyes will never adjust. So get out. Go to a farm, go to a lake or somewhere out there so you can see it.
You can fit that in your schedule late tonight, can't you?
I think it's worth it. I think it is totally worth it. I have been witness to the Perseids meteor shower in the past. It's fantastic.
Well, is this the meteor shower that Joey scheduled?
Yeah.
It is.
He scheduled it
so
right.
her husband scheduled the way that he proposed to this meteor shower. It's brilliant.
Pretty sure God was in charge of that because
He's
Joey
in charge
had
of
no idea.
Well, he knew it was going to happen.
Right. Well, Joey, no, he didn't know it was going to happen.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
He did totally
very
plan.
sly.
Well, he planned everything else, which was amazing. And then God just gave us, kind of a backdrop, which was fantastic.
Joey knew. He Googled it.
Did he? You think
Sure.
he did?
Oh, yeah. He's a smart guy, and he's just saying, I had no idea this was going to happen. But he knew. He's a really smart guy.
He is a really
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
If by chance you've planned your trip to Disney World, despite we're in this COVID thing that's going on, because Disney is open, beginning September, the hours of the parks are going to close earlier.
Oh, my goodness.
Really early, too, for Disney, because Disney will stay up until they can shoot off fireworks, and boom, that's it. It's done. The park is closed for the day. But starting December, Disney World, we're talking about the Orlando parks, Animal Kingdom will close at 5.
Okay.
Magic Kingdom will close at 6, and both Epcot and Hollywood will close at 7.
Now, why would Magic Kingdom not stay open until 7? That was my only question when I saw this.
Probably because there's a lot of kids, and there's more people in that park than some of the other ones.
I guess so, but they're not going to get the fireworks to happen at 6 o'clock, right?
No, they won't do fireworks.
Yeah,
you won't get them at 7 o'clock either because it's daylight hours.
But that's not the best part, but that's a really good part.
It is a
of going to
great
Disney.
part of it, yeah. We haven't been to Disney in years.
We haven't either.
But we still remember the fireworks. They're so good.
Because Tink would come down, and fly to Cinderella's castle. And that was a great part of it. We have a friend, family, that they go every year, if not twice a year. And they just came back, I think, last week and had their masks on throughout the park the entire day. I don't know.
People started abusing that, so they had to change the rules in the park.
What do you mean abusing it?
They would, so you can't eat with a mask on, right?
Oh, sure, right.
And so people started walking around the parks, taking their mask off and taking a forever sip of their soda.
Yeah.
Or taking their time eating something so that
Right.
they don't have to wear their mask while they're walking around the park.
And that was part of the rules.
And
of
Disney
opening.
Disney said no eating or drinking in the parks. You've got to be at one of our restaurants or one of the eateries inside our park if you want to eat, because people started to abuse it.
I mean, I can see it's hot and humid on
It
the
is.
blacktop at Disney, and you need your hydration most of all. But
My glasses fog up. I don't like wearing my mask because my glasses fog up. But, at places where they ask you to wear it, you wear it.
you gotta wear it, huh? Well, so they're going to be closing early. Animal Kingdom, my favorite park.
That's a fun park.
Love it.
It is a fun park. They got a great roller coaster. Antarctic or something like that, right?
I like the animals. I don't like the roller coaster.
Don't like it. Oh, that's right. She doesn't like the coasters.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Coming to a mall near you
Yep.
is Amazon.
Huh?
Yeah, Sears and JCPenney.
Yeah.
There's a lot of malls, especially if you have like a Simon property mall
Okay.
in your city. the Simon Malls, the J.C. Penney's and the Sears are dormant. They're gone. There's nobody. They're just a big empty building now.
Right, gates down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I went to the mall. It was a month ago when my daughter was working at the mall in one of the stores and a shelf hit her in the head.
Oh, right. I remember that.
I had to go and bring her to the emergency room. That was Father's Day. I remember that. I forgot it was Father's Day that happened. And when I walked into the mall, I went by the Sears and went, oh, it's closed. I didn't even remember that it was closed. I rarely go to the mall. That was the last time I was at the mall. And before that was like eons ago. I like going to an Apple store inside one of the malls that have it. So now Amazon is in talks with the biggest mall company on the planet, which is Simon Properties, and they might be striking some kind of deal with them to use the JCPenney and the empty Sears stores as fulfillment centers.
Oh, so it's not going to be like an Amazon store.
No, they'll be big fulfillment centers, and so we might get deliveries a little bit quicker now.
How much quicker?
Oh,
Honestly.
like in the afternoon.
Wow, because I know.
I made that up. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, I totally believe it because sometimes I'll order something and it's literally here the next morning. And I'm like, how did y'all, are you watching me? Order this thing? How is that working?
I'm sure if it's coming from overseas, it'd be a little bit longer. But if they have it in that fulfillment center, it's coming to you quick.
And so it may be even faster.
It could be,
That's wild.
So we'll see. They're in talks right now,
Yeah.
but it looks like it just might be a done deal with Amazon using those empty Sears and JCPenney's as big fulfillment centers now.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Daisy's 10, but when she was 4 years old, she picked up painting. Hey, it's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. And she started painting because two of her grandparents had cancer.
Yeah.
So she just wanted to do something for them. Her mom is Karen, and Karen's like, my daughter has a gift. She's 6 years old painting. She's like, she has a gift. So she had this wild idea. She contacted a local gallery, an art gallery, and simply said, hey, give me some canvas and let's sell my daughter's painting.
Yeah.
So they did. So her daughter painted, this is Daisy, painted a big portrait of flowers. And she had forget-me-nots for those who passed away from cancer, which are Daisy's. And her name's Daisy. And then bright flowers for those who have survived cancer.
Yeah.
Sure enough, people started bidding on them from across the world and brought in, and this all was donated for cancer research, brought in $12,000.
But did you know that her mom's a teacher who has an art degree? So that helped her kind of assess her daughter's talent.
Oh, man, yeah.
And she said Daisy is way more talented than I ever hoped to be. But also, not just, she sold that first for $12,000. You know how much she's donated so far? Because they keep selling. People keep calling to try to get these pieces of art. $65,000.
Isn't that crazy cool?
Yeah, and if you've ever seen a Monet, that they're calling her Mini Monet. So it's that sort of watercolor, that bright, beautiful. They're gorgeous.
It's like she's been painting for decades.
And she's 10.
10 years old.
She's awesome.
And she does this just to help people, which is so great.
Well, I mean, she loved her grandparents, and I think that's her inspiration behind it all. She hasn't kept any of the money for herself.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
At 10 years old, she could get herself a nice Xbox.
Oh,
Instead,
a couple of them, yeah.
or whatever she's into.
Yeah.
A nice iPhone or
There
something
you
like
go.
that. But no, she'd rather people benefit from that and find some kind of cure for cancer. Daisy, you inspire us all, young lady.
His morning crew.
14 years ago, when Mina was born, she was abandoned in a little basket right outside of a college. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. But now, 14 years later, after she was adopted, she is doing something really amazing for dogs that are older, the senior dogs.
Yeah, and it's the sweetest story. So she knows what it's like to want a forever home, and she got that. She was adopted by a very loving family, and her mom says she's always loved pets, and especially dogs. And because the senior dogs just have a special place in her heart, she teamed up with an animal shelter in her area, Muttville, that is specifically, I should say, for senior dogs. And she helps them find forever homes.
So what she wound up doing was she created this business. And this business is called Pet Fairy Services. She has rates like $35 a day, and she helps take care of dogs. And now she's raised $7,000 in 2 years and now has this purpose. She's topped over $14,000. She has this purpose of finding forever homes for these senior dogs, and she's accomplishing that.
Yeah, and she's 14. She's pet sitting. Now, I know a lot of teenagers pet sit, but like my boys, when they did it this summer, it was so they could buy, a controller for and I'm not saying that they didn't need to do that, but she has taken her pet sitting service and turned it in to help those senior dogs.
Great.
How crazy good is that?
Good for you, Mina. Yeah. You're setting the example for a lot of people today.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
Liz has some news about a Musketeer, it sounds like.
Sort of. Chief Mouser. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
That's the chief of the Musketeers at Disney World, right?
No, not at all. This is Palmerston, an actual cat. He works for the British Foreign Office in England. He's been working for them ever since they rescued him 4 years ago. He is their chief mouser. And so what he does is literally that. He catches mice that get into
in the
palace.
Palace? The Royal Palace?
No. This is where I guess the police are. This is their security office, that kind of thing.
Oh, it's their security cat.
Yeah. So he's retiring.
No.
Yeah, he is. He put out a tweet. And he says he's positive that he's going to be retiring.
The pun of paw.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Put it out there on social media. He's been a celebrity on social media ever since he took the post as Chief Mouser. I think the Queen needs to knight him. I think he needs to be Sir Palmerston in his retirement.
No.
I really do. I think that is super cute. I don't know if he's going to continue on social media once his retirement kicks in, but he is moving to the country, the British countryside, with a loving family. And he's going to be, he says, spending his days climbing trees. And
You'll have plenty of time to tweet.
he should.
Yeah.
He should be able to. Maybe he gets a press secretary to handle that, but
Yeah, you got a whole PR agent and everything, right?
he'd have to.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I wonder if you ever sent a message in a bottle. And if you did send a message in a bottle, I'm curious to know if anybody ever responded to it. It's Rob and Liz on his radio.
Have you ever done that?
Not me.
Me either.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, what are we thinking when we were kids, or even now? We should be doing
And
stuff
I
like
lived
that.
in Tampa Bay on the Gulf Coast, so I have no excuse. I should have put a message in a bottle.
Well, Vivian Byerly, she did that.
Her whole class did, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Yes, a third grade class did it. Susan Ferguson, and they're in North Carolina. She's a great teacher. She was trying to teach them through this, just I guess about currents maybe in the ocean.
Yeah.
And they all wrote messages and put them in a bottle, and then somebody threw them off the coast of North Carolina, off Morehead City.
Yeah, and she was talking about the Gulf Stream and how it moves.
Yeah.
So not all the bottles got to destinations where people saw them or picked them up.
Or
But
maybe not yet.
not yet,
Yeah,
at
maybe.
least.
Yeah.
But Vivian's in particular, and mind you, they sent these off in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, 2020. She's in the 4th grade now. And a fisherman off the beach in Morocco found the bottle,
How cool.
opened it up, and answered her.
That's the coolest part about it, is that he didn't just pick it up, throw it away. He actually investigated. He got I think it was his nephew to translate the message. And so then they went on email, because they had the teacher's email, not the kid's email. And they emailed the teacher to say, hey, we found this bottle.
Isn't that cool? And they found the bottle, and now they've been talking back and forth a little bit. The student and the fisherman over in Guam, Morocco area.
I'm glad that it didn't just stop with, hey, I found the bottle. I hope you're having a good day. Bye.
4,000 miles. Did you say that?
Yeah, I
It
think so.
traveled 4,000 miles, which is amazing.
That just shows you, I mean, yes, it took quite a few months, but at the same time, that's just the current taking it along.
It took a whole grade level
Yeah, exactly.
from 3rd to 4th grade for that thing to get to that fisherman. Hopefully some other messages and bottles be found
Yeah.
miles away.
His morning crew.
I think during everything that we're going through in 2020, which everybody can probably agree has been very trying, it makes you appreciate some things so much more, don't you think?
Like what?
Well, there's a couple that met at Amber Court Assisted Living, and they had met a couple years ago, I guess. They've been there for about 3 years. Jeffrey,
Oh, so they're residents.
they are residents,
Okay.
Jeffrey and Gloria, and they met a couple of years ago. They kind of started being sweet on each other.
Oh, really?
Right? They were falling in love. I love the music there. That is awesome. Well, she got sick. She had COVID. She went to the hospital.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. She was there for quite a few days. When she came home, Jeffrey was ready. He said, I missed her so much while she was gone. I got to make this right. And he popped the question.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he invited everybody from the assisted living out to their little courtyard that they have. She had gotten all dressed up with her long necklace and her beautiful blue dress. He had flowers and balloons. They set her down on a bench. She came over. He had sort of almost like a wheelchair type thing. Went over, gave her the ring. It's one of the sweetest little things that happens. So now they are engaged. No date for the wedding as yet.
Okay.
But they're making plans. She's got to say yes to the dress first. See? Good stuff comes out
That
of 2020.
is nice.
Isn't it nice?
That is just so sweet. Little date in the courtyard of the nursing home.
Yeah.
Little romance that's been brewing.
Yes.
And it took COVID-19 to bring them closer together. Now they'll be husband and wife.
They will be husband and wife. And he just did it perfectly with the ring and about 100 balloons.
Good for him. So she got all dressed up. What'd he wear? Tuxedo?
Track pants.
Track pants?
and
And a t-shirt? Well,
he also had black socks.
it's the thought that counts.
It is.